Okay, so welcome back to Sorry I'm a Bitch. I'm so excited to introduce Chelsea and Ellen of Moms for Indiana. I have to ask, how did Moms for Indiana come about?
Chelsea can turn this.
Okay. So I have my own Instagram account and audience that I've had for almost 16 years. I've been in the digital space, and I wanted to do.
Chelsea's an OG blogger.
Oh, thank you.
She's downplaying it, but she's like from the OG blogosphere.
It is true. So I got into blogging in 2010, and then obviously evolution of social media and that sort of thing. And I've been doing it full time since 2014. So I wanted to do an account that was focused on Indiana. So I claimed the name of Moms for Indiana on Instagram. And then I sat on it because it just felt overwhelming to do that with my other stuff that I was doing. And I also wanted to, I was afraid that I would be stepping on people's toes that were already doing this sort of work in Indiana. And so I just kind of like let it sit. And then a friend of mine who runs a mom's account in Oregon, Moms for Oregon, she reached out to me and said that someone had reached out to her asking about the domain, and is someone going to do, like, not the domain, the username, and are they going to do anything with it? And she knew I had it, so that's why she said it to me, and that person was Ellen. So Ellen had reached out to my friend Brittany and was like, is someone going to do something with this? And Brittany reached out to me, and then when I had someone who was really interested in helping me with it, it felt not so big and cumbersome. So Ellen and I met September 2024.
August or September.
Yeah,
somewhere around there.
Yeah, for the first time, and then we launched the account on October. I don't know. It was the VP debate, the night of the VP debate in October. So it was like almost a month before Election Day, 2024. And we launched it, and we've grown it to almost 11,000 followers.
Over 7,000.
Over 11,000 followers.
Did you guys think at the time when you started it and you were watching the debates, did you think that we were going to be heading into a Trump presidency? Or did you think that you were going to be running this with the first woman president?
I did not think that he was going to win. I thought there was a possibility that he could win. And I had a couple of conversations with acquaintances of mine, specifically around like the economy and their thoughts on the economy, that made me really nervous. Probably like around like mid-October. And I was like, oh, that feels bad.
Like people you knew personally?
People that I knew personally, not like really good friends of mine, but people that were that I was sort of friendly with. And that freaked me out. But I still, was shocked that night. And I think I had the reaction of, it felt very reminiscent of 2016. And it's funny, I have a bottle of champagne that I bought the night, I think the day of the 2016 presidential election. And I thought I was going to be opening it that night. And obviously that is not the case. And so I put it away. I put my I voted sticker on it. And then I think I wrote open for first woman POTUS or something. And I still have that bottle of champagne. And I pulled it out that night in November of 2024, thinking that I was going to open it. And then I posted a video of myself walking it back down to my basement, putting it away. And it still makes me really sad. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that one day I'll get to open that damn bottle of champagne, which will probably taste horrible.
Yeah, just have a little sip.
Yeah. So I think it's been it's been interesting because I really do, I don't think that we thought that we would be doing this work in this environment. And I also don't think that I was expecting it to be as bad as it is, because I think the Trump 1.0 was bad for a lot of reasons and for a lot of people. But I think the thing that has surprised me most is this sort of level of devastation and the breadth of the devastation. And I think the thing that's also really different and feels really different this time is the just level of wealth and the way that we are seeing the how the economy is only working for people at the very, very, very tippy top of the ladder, and not just for the 1%, but like for like the 10th of 1% or the 100th of 1% of people, and then how the Trump and his allies have been enriched while everybody else, you know, is spending $1,500 a month on their like health insurance.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's sort of like, I think it would feel different, I think, if we were doing this work in 2017 to 2020. It feels almost, the stakes feel higher, the work feels harder.
Yeah, because we also have the Republican supermajority in the state. So it's like a double whammy, you know? We have nationally, we have what we have. And then in the state, it's just, I would say, extra depressing to be completely honest about it. Ellen, like, didn't think it was going to be as bad as it is. I call me cynical or whatever, but I figured it was going to be because he doesn't owe anyone anything. He's not trying to get reelected. I knew that it was going to be like this, and he was just going to basically screw over everyone, except for people with money, obviously. And I can see why people vote for him, because my portfolio has done very well in the last year and a half, but I would trade that for people to have rights and things like that. So I can see why certain people vote for him, because like I said, their stocks and stuff are doing very well right now. So, but it's just, like I said, double whammy with living in this state and just the apathy that comes with living here in a very gerrymandered state.
Yes, I know. We talk about it all the time, like, because we moved here.
You chose this?
We chose Indiana.
Oh.
I'm like, I was born in Indiana. I was born in Monticello, Indiana.
Oh, okay.
And then I moved to Las Vegas when I was 20, and then moved to Texas. And so when we had our child, I was like, well, we should probably be around family. And I wouldn't want them to come to Texas, even though we were in Austin, which is lovely.
Yes.
It's still a red state. And, you know, we saw it go purple. We really thought Beto was going to win. Multiple times. Yes. But we were like, we should be around family. And so we moved to Indianapolis, and under the assumption that it would not be a long-term thing, that would be a temporary thing. And we actually really love Indianapolis.
We did too.
I'm like, damn it. Like, we're kind of here, aren't we? Because now we've built a community. I was going to ask, like, what keeps you guys in Indiana? Like, what's the best part of living in Indiana for you?
It's a really good question. Well, I was born and raised in Valparaiso. I went to IU twice. Once for undergrad, I was a ballet major. My former life is as a ballerina. And then I danced professionally. I moved back here for graduate school about almost 13 years ago. It's wild to say. And I thought that I was going to just come back here for grad school and leave again. And I ended up meeting my husband and like 6 months into grad school, and ended up getting a job here. And so we just kind of stayed. And to be quite honest, like, I love this city, and I have built, like you said, a really beautiful, robust community. And we're 2.5 hours from where my parents live. We're 4 hours from where my husband's parents live. We have 2 children, a 3-year-old and a 7-month-old. And we, like, this is a really lovely place to raise a family. And I don't feel like there's anywhere else that I would want to, like, I would have to like uproot my whole life, right, to go somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And also sacrifice things like cost of living and which would be fine, but there's just no other place that I feel like a real call to go toward. And so for me, it's just like, this is home. And if it's going to be my home, like, I want to make it better for my family and for other families and for my children. What about you, Chelsea?
I would say my story is very similar to Ellen's, and I feel like that's one of the reasons why we get along so well is because I grew up in northern Indiana, so in a very small town 10 miles west of South Bend. And I went to IU Bloomington, same as Ellen. We were there for I think we were like a year or two, but we didn't know each other. And then I graduated with my degree in education, and I met my husband at IU, and he's from Southern Indiana. Like I said, I'm from Northern Indiana. So we were like, well, Indianapolis is in the middle. Yeah. No one can complain. But then we're kind of like the cheese stands alone. And like Helen, we had to build our own community. And then we settled here, and we have 2 boys, 11 and 8. And yeah, it's kind of like Ellen said, I can't really imagine myself anywhere else. I'm not feeling pulled anywhere else. There's a bunch of little things that I like about here. I like how we're centrally located. We're close to Chicago, we're close to Louisville, we're close to Cincinnati, kind of close to Columbus and St. Louis. And I like that there's 4 seasons here. Mm-hmm. And I also, this is slept on, but I don't think enough people talk about how being on the furthest west of the time zone is amazing to me, because, in the wintertime, our sun doesn't set until 5:30 or so. But on the East Coast, it's 4:30. So that's one thing that, I don't know, I care deeply about. Obviously, because I'm I need as much sun as possible. So like I said, I don't feel like people talk about that enough. So that is another thing I love about living here. But yeah, and the people, I feel like there's so many great people in this state, and I'm sure people could say that about other states as well. But I think there's something to be said about Midwestern nice.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
because I've lived on the West, I've lived in the South, and there's Southern hospitality, but let's be so for real right now. That's not my neighbors didn't even wave at each other, or I didn't even know their names. And here I've literally asked my neighbors, does anyone have an onion or a cup of sugar? I didn't even know that was real. When I first moved here, I was outside, and one of my neighbors just walked into my yard, and she was like, "Tell me about yourself." And I was like, "Are you gonna kill me?
Are you casing my house, ma'am? What is happening?"
Yes. And now we're really good friends. So I was like, "Oh, I thought you were a total psychopath. I thought you just came off the streets and walked into my yard." So there's something to say about Hoosier hospitality, for sure. Okay, how do you guys feel about Braun making June Nuclear Family Month? Have you seen on Meridian the house?
Yes.
Does it say a nuclear family lives here?
But I feel like they put rainbow bunting. I feel like it's hard to see, but they should have. I would have put a giant pride flag on each side of it.
Yeah, they might have put pride flags out.
I think I saw it looked like bunting, but it was very small bunting. So I feel like when you drove by, it was hard to see. But I feel like they did it to say we are a nuclear family,
even though we're queer.
Yes.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I totally missed that.
I know. So I'm like, oh guys, pick a bigger flag.
Oh, I was totally judging. I've like not taken Meridian ever since I was like, I'm like, I can't even be around. Oh, I'm gonna have to take a walk over there to be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But also like leave them a note and be like, can you put up like a bigger plan out of it?
Well, Chelsea made a video of her flipping the governor off. So about that whole thing.
And it did really well.
It did.
Yeah.
And it took all of 2 seconds to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It was literally just me eating a bite of cookie.
I mean,
And then flipping it off.
I mean, I just like how small does your dick have to be to like feel that is something that is like worth your time?
He's appeasing Daddy Trump. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And because he's mad at him about the gerrymandering. So he has to do these little like, you know, praise things for him. And
it's
I feel
just
like
so like how insecure do you have to be in your own life, in your own family, in your own like you're the literal governor of the state. There's like I can think of 1,000 other priorities that you should have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Than declaring for PR, I guess.
Yeah.
That, you know, Pride Month, which is a month that is like commemorating a really like important group of people and also like honoring the like decades of like fight that the LGBTQ community like worked toward to feel and be included. Like, how insecure do you have to be in your own life to like think that that's a good use of your time?
Right.
As the governor of a state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 50 of you. And you're like, this is the good use of my time. I just think it's like really stupid.
Yeah. I mean, and it's like, you know, people in that community pay your salary.
Yeah.
And then here you are just, you know, othering them. And obviously we don't like that. And we don't like him.
Yeah.
And we also don't like Micah Beckwith. I'll just throw that one out there too.
What the fuck is his problem?
And all the like AI like slop that he posts, because he did one too. So then I took myself flipping, and then I flipped off his statement that he put, and that one did really well too.
Yeah.
So they both got one from me. Because that pissed me off.
Oh, the data center got you too.
Oh, the data center. Everyone is just getting flipped off. Yeah.
It's also because Chelsea's really long fingers. There's a running joke among Chelsea's internet community about her hands. So
can you show the camera?
Yes, I can show you.
They're great fingers.
Thank you. It became an inside joke with my community because I had someone message me and say, can you please stop talking with your hands so much when I was
she does it
on camera
all the time.
So now people will be like, ooh, hand content, like feet content, but it's my hands. And so I just joke, like, I got to give the people a little taste here and there, you know?
Yeah.
Only hands.
Only hands.
So find me on Only Hands. So yeah. And then, well, I haven't even said anything to them about my fingers. It's just like someone saw that and the like brawn flipping off, and they were like, your middle finger's really long. Yeah. And then so then now it's just got to give the people what they want.
Yeah. You're like, this middle finger needs to reach to what, Jasper, Pulaski, wherever the hell it is. It's not Indianapolis.
Yeah, Jasper. Yeah, with his helipad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Jesus Christ. This state. What issue do you think Indiana politicians consistently underestimate when it comes to Indiana families and moms?
Public school.
Yes.
I think that's one of the things that Chelsea and I try to focus on a lot because both of us went to public school. Chelsea sends her kids to public school. I want to send my kids to public school. But in this state, since the introduction of the voucher program in, I think it was 2011 and 2013, I can't remember.
It was 2011.
Under Mitch Daniels' administration.
Boo.
Which is, like, I'm probably going to get myself in trouble for saying this, but I think we can blame a lot of the current iteration of our Republican politics on what happened under Mitch Daniels' administration. He is responsible for our current, not our absolute current, but he's responsible for removing like several Democratic congressional districts when they redistricted after the 2010 census. And And he also signed the bill that introduced the voucher program, which has ballooned and expanded since his administration. But I think people oftentimes talk about him as like this traditional or like moderate Republican. And he came out against the gerrymandering effort last fall. I get that. But I do think that he was not as moderate as people paint him out to be.
No.
And so I think the ballooning of the voucher program and the elimination of the income cap at all and the chronic underfunding of our schools and the chronic underpaying of our teachers has led to a teacher shortage, has led to $500 million a year being diverted to private and religious institutions away from our public schools. Yeah. And the passage of the property tax bill in the 2025 session has sucked millions and millions of dollars from municipal budgets. That includes budget for public schools all across the state. And that, I think, is one of the biggest threats to our state and to our children, because if we do not have an educated populace, then we have nothing. Yeah. And we're not going to be able to, I think there's this narrative that politicians in our state often tout that we're like this really business friendly state. Well, businesses are not going to want to invest here if we don't have an educated populace.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if we're only sending money to private and religious institutions where children attend who have never been to public school, then the people that we are leaving behind are going to be further left behind as we continue down this path. And so that's something that, I mean, Chelsea and I really try to focus on because it matters to people. All of us who are moms have children, and we need to decide where we're going to send our children to school. And I think the vast majority of us would want to send our kids to public school.
Yeah, 90% of Hoosiers send their kids to public schools. Yeah. And I don't think it's talked about enough that the ultimate goal for Republicans is to destroy public education in the state. That is what's happening. It's death by 1,000 cuts. You have the voucher program, like Ellen said, it takes $500 million away from public schools every year. And then with SCA 1, it's going to take over 440 million, 440, I think
that sounds right.
Over the next 3 years away from our public schools. And their solution at the state was, okay, well, you can do referendums. And that's when schools have to go to their community and say, listen, we're not going to have enough money to operate. So we're putting this on the ballot. And the community has to go out and vote yes or no for that, but it will raise their property taxes because there was also the 1% property tax cap that Mitch Daniels did. So that also hurt public schools too. So they have to do that, and they have to, form PACs in volunteers, and they have to run a campaign as school leaders. And this year alone, there's probably going to be about 50 districts throughout the state running referendums and going to the community and asking for more money. And I don't feel like enough people are educated on how much has been taken from the schools. And so then they're fighting an uphill battle of trying to educate their community and get more money from them. So,
and it's hard in this economy to ask people to fork over more money,
especially when people's property taxes have gone up, because on the county and city level, they're also having to adjust for the lack of money that they're getting from the state. And our property values are going up. That's what property tax, that's what your house is valued at, is the market value. So those have gone up too. And so it's really hard. And then they also made it, there's these, like I said, it's death by 1,000 cuts, because then they also you can only run a referendum on even years. And you can only run a referendum during the general election. You can only have it in the fall. You can't have it in the spring anymore. It used to be that you can run in the spring and you could run it like any year that you wanted. And the referendums expire after 8 years. And so there's all these little things that they did, and that like roadblock. And they also, in the question on the ballot, you have to, if for the yes, you have to have the word increase in there, I think at least 4 times. And then on the no, they also have to word it saying, if, for example, if your house is valued at this amount, you would pay this much more a year. And so someone will see that on the ballot and they'll be like, I'm going to pay $500 more a year. Well, no, of course I'm going to vote no. And then they'll select no.
Yeah.
And like I said, there's not enough people in this state that realize that this is what's happening and this is what Republicans are doing.
Yeah.
And they want to destroy public education.
Yeah. Yeah.
And right now we're ranked like towards the top. We're like around 11 in terms of like quality of K-12 education in this state. But it's only going to go down the more that this happens. Like it's all just going to unravel.
Yeah.
Because like I said, 50 in the fall, there were 6 districts that ran referendums. And because they were kind of like grandfathered in, and the state said, okay, you can run. And like I said, this fall, there will be around 50 throughout the state. So that's pretty telling. Because you could say, okay, those 6 districts, they didn't budget well. They weren't good stewards of their money. But when you have 50, that's a systemic issue.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, when we were moving here, we were adamant with our real estate agent. We were like, we loved Meridian Kessler. We visited Indianapolis and drove through, and we were like, if we ever move to Indiana, like we love this neighborhood. And he was like, well, you have a child. If education is important to you guys, then you should do Carmel. And I was like, I just don't, it seems lovely. I don't think I'd vibe. I really need a city. I'm not a suburb person. And
I'm an inside the circle gal.
Yes. Yeah. And he was like, well, just to let you know, if you want to do public school, or if you're going to move here, you need to be okay with doing private school, because public school is going to be very hard because there's a lottery. He was trying to explain it. And at the time we were like, I don't give a fuck. My daughter's 4 months old. Like,
right.
And then when it came time, we were like enrolling her into the lottery. I was like, oh, this is kind of stressful. Like, what if she doesn't get into, one of the top, but there are so many, like, I think I had like 7 on the list I was very happy with her going to. So I was like, this is not a big deal. And then she got into like our first selection. So I'm like, this was not a big deal. And also, but so many parents that I talked to were like, there's no reason to not put your kid into private school here with the voucher. Like, you should do that. I'm like, I'm not doing that. One, we're not religious. Like, so why would I send my kid to a religious school? And then like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be an atheist and be like, here, go learn about something I know nothing about.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Like, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. And I don't know. And I'm not going to spend $20-something thousand a year on a kindergartner.
No.
That's crazy.
Yeah. The only one I support, I was told that Park Tudor doesn't take vouchers.
St. Richard's also does not take vouchers.
Yeah. So I'm like, I would go with one that does not take vouchers if I was to do it, because no.
Yeah. Yeah. I think when we were thinking about it, we were like, okay, if we have to go that route, I did like St. Richard's because they have a non-binary teacher, and they're really progressive. And I was like, okay, that I can kind of get behind. I'm not going to like put my kid in a Catholic school and then like them be preaching pro-life shit. Like, not doing it. Okay. So speaking of children, Ellen, you said, I believe you're entitled to a child-free life, but not a child-free world. I loved that. That really resonated with me. We just went to Europe. I'm a very anxious person. I was anxious the entire time that my daughter was too loud or too wild. And, oh, by the way, they didn't care. But what do you have to say to parents who are anxious about bringing their kids out into public spaces?
I am very passionate about this.
Very passionate about this.
I have gotten berated on threads about it like numerous times, because there's, I think, a group of people that don't actually live in the real world that that live on that app that use their like one absolutely horrific experience they had with like one child at like one, you know, outing they were at to define the way that they think about all children. I'm just not interested in shutting myself in my house with my children until they reach some sort of acceptable age where people out in public would be okay with them being in public. People don't like teenagers either, by the way. Like, they don't want teenagers to be out in public either. And I just, it's not like I'm taking my kids to a rowdy bar at 9 p.m. Like, that's not what we're doing here. I'm taking them to like Half Liter, like where there's a giant like beer garden and there's 1,000 families there that are all like, you know, it's like millennials and their kids and their dogs. Like, that's who goes there. I just don't believe that we should. And by saying things like that, by saying like we need child-free spaces or you shouldn't bring your kids to like a fancy restaurant, not like I'm bringing them to like, you know, a nice steakhouse and like maybe bringing them to like Tony Tap or something. But like by saying that, you are saying that you also do not believe that mothers should be in public. And that to me is like a symptom of like the patriarchy that is, it's like a subtle manifestation of that. And I will say, we took our then 15-month-old to 4 countries in Europe in 2024. And the way that we were treated was like just so different from like my general experience here in the US at restaurants. There are so many of the museums in Europe are like free or very, very, very inexpensive for children under the age of 18. You know, I talk all the time about how there's lots of places that are family friendly to take your kids here in Indianapolis, but the memberships cost, you know, upwards of $100, $200 a year. And that's out of reach for a lot of families. And so I just wholeheartedly believe that children belong in public spaces and that children are not going to learn how to behave in those public spaces if we don't invite them into those public spaces. They're never going to learn that it's inappropriate to like throw themselves on the crowd in public if we don't let them do that and then talk to them about the consequences of what that means. And then it's funny because the argument that you often get back is like, well, it's not the kids, it's the way that the parents are handling the children. And I'm like, do you know how toddlers just sometimes completely like melt down out of nowhere? They could be having the best day ever. And then you bring them to a restaurant and they decide that all hell is going to break loose. And there is nothing you can do about it except like remove them from the situation.
Yeah.
And I think that's like such a bullshit excuse that people say, well, it's just people don't parent anymore. And I'm like, that's dumb. That's not an argument that is made in good faith. You just don't like to be made to feel uncomfortable in public. And children who are quote unquote misbehaving or just acting like, God forbid, a 3-year-old make you uncomfortable. And that was not my experience in Europe. There was only one time when somebody like gave me a dirty look when my kid was being a little bit ornery. And that person was not a European. They were American. So.
That's funny because my next question was, you mentioned while you were overseas, you only had one rude encounter. Was that the rude encounter? Did somebody say something to you?
She basically, what happened was I was sitting at a cafe with my son. My husband was like running an errand or something. So, I think he was like playing with a butter knife, and it was a butter knife. Like, it's not like a sharp knife. Like, he was just like playing with it. I was just like eating a croissant, I think. And this woman like looked at me and then she was like, you know, you really shouldn't have me playing with knives. And I was like, lady, it's a butter knife. Like, go to hell. Like, mind your own business. Like, I don't know what you're talking. But I'm pretty sure she was not. She was not. We were in Germany. She was not German, so she sounded like she was an American.
Yeah,
definitely not Canadian. That's for sure.
No,
They
the Canadians would never confront.
Yeah, they
you,
would never.
so.
Sometimes we pretend we're Canadian when we.
I would too.
Yeah.
I would too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just brought my 5-year-old to 4 different countries.
Amazing.
And Amsterdam was lovely. She was fantastic. We
Love
stayed on a
Amsterdam.
houseboat. Oh my gosh, all the dads are super involved in the Netherlands, by the way.
Yes.
Like, I'm so sorry. 1 second. This cat is such a piece of shit.
The cat knows that I'm allergic, and that's why it's rubbing
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
They are rubbing themselves all over my purse right now. Like,
I know.
I can, like, you know, I feel like they sense that about me. They're like, you're allergic,
Yeah,
so we're just gonna deal within your stuff.
absolutely. And it's a black bag too, so they're like, I'm just gonna get all my cat hair.
Yeah,
on
that's
this
totally fine.
right away. Can you not?
It's so
Foot
funny.
fetish. Anyways, yeah, dads are super involved. Anyway, she was fantastic there. Belgium, we were in Bruges. She was fantastic. We were like, wow, we have the best daughter in the entire world. Like, she is so good. I don't even know why people say that traveling with kids is hard, because this is so.
It's oh wait, the way what happened?
Oh no, our train pulled into London and she climbed over the train seat to, like, she was like, let's just duke it out. She was like, I hate London. I hate it here. I thought we were going home.
Oh.
What is this?
Oh.
I've never seen her like that before. It was like, and then of course I'm crazy. So I was like, oh, in a past life, she lived in London. She had a horrible experience. This is just all coming out now. Like, she was Anne Boleyn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
She doesn't want to.
Oh yeah.
She was awful at the Tower of London. I was like, you really are Anne Boleyn. Like, it was feeding into my
This makes
delusions.
sense.
It
Yes.
does make sense.
This
Yeah.
makes sense.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, like, your spirit
Yeah.
She's
never
like,
goes
the
out.
vibes,
Like,
the
the
vibes are off.
Vibes are off.
She's like, I know they're gonna have shitty food in this country.
And they did. And
Yeah.
I mean, we've been
I would be
multiple
pissed
times.
too.
I keep coming back. Why do I keep coming? I don't know. She kept telling the kids at the park they talk like Peppa Pig. I mean, they did.
That's funny.
That's
That's dad. That's funny.
I was like, maybe
She's not wrong.
you know, she's not wrong, right? But I was like, they might not like that. They just looked at her like, whoa, you say exactly what you want.
Oh, she was being like one of those typical Americans.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's true that, like you said, the kids do travel pretty well. Like mine do.
Yeah.
I mean, they're super chill when we travel.
Yeah.
I had an experience in Bruges where we went to a restaurant. We were late showing it, like they were about to close at the lunch hour. It was like they were gonna close until they reopened for dinner. We got there like 20 minutes before 2:00, and they were like walk in, and it was a recommendation from Rick Steves, and so I was like, and we like happened upon it, and we were like, and I'm a Rick Steves stan,
Yeah.
so we happened upon it. We like I really wanted mussels, and so we like go in. We're like, I know you're about to close. And they were like, no, come on in. They, like, made room for our stroller. Like, my kid was napping in the stroller. And so they were like, yeah, come on in. And then they let us order. And then my son woke up in the middle of us, like, eating. And he was not happy. He was very cranky. He was very tired. And this family who owned this restaurant just picked him up and just walked him all around the restaurant, took him back to the kitchen, like got a lobster out of their tank and like showed him the lobster, and like literally just like walked off with my kid while like my husband and I like had mussels and drank a beer. It was incredible. And I told that story on Threads, and people said that it was like a thing. Like in so many other countries, like family-owned restaurants will like just pick up your kid and like walk them around the restaurant, and it's just like totally normal. And like if someone did that here, I feel like someone would like lose their damn mind. But like it was amazing, and these people were so kind to us. They loved our kid. They like loved us. They gave us free dessert. It was amazing. It was like, I think about that interaction probably once a week, because it was just so amazing, and also like would probably never happen in the US.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a friend that just went to Vietnam, and they have 4 kids, and they're older. They're all in elementary school. And they said whenever they would walk into a place, they'd be like, the babies. And my friend was saying, like, it's almost like we were talked about in like a Facebook chatter group or something, because they walked into one place and they're like, we heard about you. And like because they were a white family in Vietnam with 4 kids, it really stood out. But he was like, we were treated so well. And they just were obsessed with our kids. And I was like, I love that for you, you know?
And I do think that this is indicative of social policy that takes care of families. Like, it's not just about the interaction that they're having on a daily basis with children and families. It's because they have long maternity leaves. They offer paternity leave. Baby Bjorn is running like an ad campaign right now where they are in Sweden and they're like finding like dads on paternity leave who get like 5-8 months of paternity leave because they paid. Yeah. Because they get to like split it with their spouses or whatever. And then they have, you know, obviously like robust social programs and free healthcare, and they provide, you know, childcare, you know, like 2 and up or whatever. Like this is not just about like the way that children are treated in public. It's about the way that families are taken care of like by the government. And I think that seeps into the way that children and families are treated in public. But it's really about the systems and the infrastructure that take care of the families. And so I think that's like, we don't do that here in the US. And so that's why there's perhaps this like more hostile attitude toward children.
And I feel like it's being reflected in our lower birth rates. Like it's not, people aren't having kids because why? Yeah. Why would we have more kids? But then you have Republicans that are like, we want you to have more babies and just breed. And it's like, okay, so then, but how are we supposed to afford these kids? Like, make it make sense. Yeah. Especially when they're like, we want your wife to be the trad wife and to stay home. And you're like, who's paying for this? You know? So I feel like people aren't necessarily connecting the dots. Like there's no, the critical thinking isn't really, like the wheels aren't turning in terms of connecting those things of there's not as much support for parents. So why would people have more kids in this country? Yeah, exactly. I'm not.
Chelsea, one of the coolest things about your background is that you decorated Vice President Kamala Harris's Christmas tree in her office in the West Wing. How did that come about, and what was that like?
That was amazing. Like peak lifetime moment for me. So every year there are about 300 volunteers that decorate the White House for Christmas, and anyone can apply. They put it on the website, anyone can apply. And so that's what I did. I filled out the application and applied. And you find out, I think I found out in October. I applied in August, I want to say. I would not be applying right now during this administration.
No.
Because I would fuck those trees up. They would not want me there. So I went. You can do 2 different things. They have like a first part of the week you can go and decorate. It's the week of Thanksgiving. So that you can go, I think it's Monday through Wednesday, decorate. And then actually those first 2 days, people are usually at the warehouse because they reuse a lot of stuff. They don't buy stuff every year, at least the Democratic president. So there's a warehouse and they have everything cataloged. And so they have the volunteers go down the aisles and like pick out like, you know, the box full of silver ornaments and this. And then on Wednesday they get to go, because then all that stuff has to be screened before going to the White House. And then on Wednesday, people can start decorating the White House. And then that's the first group. And then the second group comes in the Friday after Thanksgiving, and then Saturday, Sunday, and then they finish up the decorating. Or some people do the whole week. So it's like 6 days of decorating and 7 days. And I'm like, that just sounds exhausting to me. Yeah. So I was like, I want to do the fun part. And then on Monday, there is a reception with the First Lady, and you get to see like all the decorations. And so when you arrive, you're put into teams, and you're told where you're decorating. And so this being my first time, I just assumed I would be in the main part of the White House, like the red room or the blue room, you know, that sort of thing. And then when I got with my group and my team leader said that we were in the West Wing, my jaw dropped. Like I was standing there just gobsmacked. And I'm like, did you just say the West Wing? And I remember locking eyes with another woman across, like, because we were in a circle, and she was like, yeah. And I'm like, holy cow. And then our team lead was like, okay, well, we're going to go stage in the palm room and wait for our Secret Service detail to come and get us, because we had to have a Secret Service detail with us at all times because we were in the West Wing. So one of us couldn't just like run off and go into the Situation Room or something. So yeah, I got to decorate. And the first room I went in was the Oval Office. And
wow.
I just tell people I felt like I was on a people mover, and like my body was moving, but like my head, like my mind just, and then like walking down the West Colonnade, because you walk down the West Colonnade to go in. And I mean, it was just surreal to me. And then that night I was sitting on the floor of the Oval Office. Like, how many people can say that they've done that?
Yeah.
Because it's not like they have dignitaries just going crisscross applesauce.
Yeah.
Like right there. Yeah. And so I even said that to one of the women. We were both on the floor, like messing with stuff. And I was like, can you believe, like, we're sitting on the floor? And then eventually I ended up laying on the floor because I had to fix like the tree skirt at one point.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And then I also did Kamala's tree in her office. And then the Roosevelt room, decorated like the mantle in there. And then the rest of my team did the cabinet room, and they did the wreaths along the West Colonnade. And then we also did the lobby, the West Wing lobby Christmas tree.
Oh.
So, and I can say that I used the West Wing bathroom.
Amazing.
And Ellen likes to share that I brought back I brought her a souvenir. I brought her a tampon from the West Wing.
A tampon from the West Wing.
They had them on a silver platter, so like don't leave souvenirs out like that. I'm gonna pocket them. So I did.
She also brought me like ribbon scraps.
I did.
Oh.
I had like shoved them in my apron. Everybody wears an apron, and so like when I was like working, I was like just shoving stuff in. And I'm like, well, I'm not gonna throw this away.
No.
So
she like hands me this gift bag, and
it was just like she was like it was just like scraps of stuff. And I
was so honored. I was like, oh my gosh.
She was one of the lucky tampon receivers, because I only brought some. I couldn't like pocket the whole tray, so I took one at a time. But yeah, but it was, oh, sorry. We also did the chief of staff office too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was peak.
Yeah.
And it was really cool too, because then people found out, like, because your team is named after, like, they do like the reindeer and like Santa, they like your name. And so I was Rudolph. And so when the other decorators found out like Rudolph was the West Wing, people would see my like Rudolph tag and they're like, oh, you're on Rudolph.
Yeah.
Like, I know. Oh my God. Like, you know, and so it was. I want to do it again. It was so much fun. And just the women that I met, and we all just tried to not dwell on the whole election and how that went. And we tried to make,
because you were there after.
We were right there. We were there like weeks
right
after. Yeah. And so we just tried to make Kamala's tree as pretty as possible. Like I like went over like where her desk is. We weren't supposed to touch the furniture, but I did. I was like, I'm not supposed to touch the Resolute desk when I'm in the Oval Office, whatever. So I just like bought just tried it. But yeah, I went over to her desk and I was like leaning down. I'm like, okay, so she would be sitting here, and I'm like, okay, there's a spot right there. So then we would like fill it. So we didn't. Yeah.
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 If you have pictures of what you did, you have to send them to us so we can like.
I only have one from the Oval Office. That's the one bad thing about it is they didn't release any photos from it. They didn't. Not a single photo was released. I just have like an insider photo that I got from someone who knows someone.
But she just has pictures of her at the
in the White House, but in the West Wing, I really wanted a picture of Kamala's tree to come out, because it was. We were even told by the like head decorator guy. He was like, "I'm not even just saying this." He was, "This is the best tree of all the 80 some odd trees," and they never posted a picture. It was so pretty, and we worked so hard on it. Like we sewed things onto the tree, because we were like, the floor wire is green, and we're supposed to like attach these, like, because there's a White House calligrapher. So the White House calligrapher like did like sayings on like these pieces of like paper, like really pretty paper, and like so they were kind of like ribbons of paper. And so it was so funny. One woman on my team was like, I brought a needle and thread and like pulled it out of her thing. And she was like, I'll just sew them on. So she was sewing them onto the tree.
Oh.
Yeah. So we put a lot of like time and effort into her tree because we knew.
Well, yeah.
Another fun little thing was like just looking at the photos in the West, like in the Oval Office behind President Biden's desk, seeing that, and then all the like the art and the bust that he had in there, and then Kamala had like a birthday greeting framed from Joe in her office, and then what was also cool was she had her phones were in there, and like one of the buttons on the phone said Situation Room. And I'm like, I really want a present. Yeah, it was
like an intrusive thought. Like,
I know, I was like, oh. But yeah, it was just very, very cool, and I've peaked, so I don't. There's nowhere. That's the top when it comes to decorating the White House. Yeah. So, hopefully, let me do it again. Yeah. And obviously, I am still sad about the whole East Wing thing, because that's where we entered every day and exited, and it was part of the tour. And I loved the East Colonnade, the gorgeous brick floors, and then the windows that looked out into Jackie Kennedy's garden, and all that's gone now. Yeah, that was a really tough blow. Yeah. So
yeah, goddamn. So both of you have met quite a few politicians. Was there one that's like stood out to you as like, oh, you are incredible?
Beto.
Yeah. We went, he came to do a town hall last summer, and we had the privilege of being able to do like a short interview with him, which you can watch on our Instagram. And he is just like such I don't even know how to describe him. He's like just such a warm person, and he's so charismatic. Yeah. And he, like, we're just nobodies. Like, we're just like nobodies in Indianapolis. And first of all, the fact that he had the foresight to like bring his whole, voter outreach and voter registration organization to a place like Indiana, ahead of kind of the gerrymandering fight was, it made us feel like somebody cared about us.
We were seen because we feel ignored so much.
We often feel ignored because we're a red state. We often feel ignored by like big D Democrats. Yeah. And so I think part of it was that just like was just great that he was here, and then he just was such a warm and like funny and like just genuinely like lovely person. And so that was great. And then locally, we are big fans of Andrea Hunley, who is running for mayor.
Yes. She will be on the pod too.
Amazing.
We love her.
Yeah. We love her.
Yes.
And I'm actually in her campaign ad at the end with my kids.
Way. I was really hoping I was going to make that, because I was at a few events where like the camera and I'd be like, which is probably why I'm not in it.
So it was lovely, and that the way that kind of came together was just like a little funny thing. I was just able to show up to where they were filming, and then my baby, like, she picked him up and he just like nuzzled into her, and my friend made a joke that my friend's in marketing, and she made a joke that like when women run for office, the babies kiss them, like so we're big fans of Andrea Hunley. We think she's done really excellent work at the State House, and we are looking forward to supporting her campaign for mayor. So
agreed. Was there anyone that you were like,
we only talked to Democrats. So.
Okay, same. So so I haven't had that experience. Have I?
No, we haven't. No.
And everyone that we've spoken with has been like really lovely and gracious, and they're doing like they're slogging, especially if they're in the State House. The super majority is the deficit between the delta between Democrats and Republicans from like a representation standpoint. In the State House, it's 70-30, and in the Senate it is 40-10. And so anyone who is in that Democratic caucus is slogging through, and they're doing really good work, and it's also like really hard. And the folks that we've had the opportunity to talk to and speak with, both kind of online and off, they're just doing really good work, but it's really hard. They're fighting a pretty uphill battle.
Yeah. Okay, I know we need to focus on November and flipping the Senate and the House, and we will get there. But who's your dream presidential ticket for 2028?
Oh, I don't know.
You haven't even thought about it. I know.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, both of us really like Pete.
Yeah.
But I don't. I will say, I'm just like, I have not thought that deeply about 2028 because I feel so focused on 2026. And I also have this sneaking suspicion that like whoever is going to be the person, like maybe hasn't been one of the people that's like out front at this point. Yeah. Like it could be somebody that like comes out of nowhere. Yeah. And I don't know who that is. I think I do wonder if AOC is going to throw her name in the hat at some point. I don't know if she's like biding her time still, or if that's going to be a thing. But I really, to be quite honest, like I have not even thought about who would be my dream ticket.
Yeah. And
do you know?
I don't know. I don't. I mean, I'm all for like a deep field because I feel like that's good. I also like Barack Obama like ruined it for so many people because he was, you know what I mean? Like he was just so great, and he had talent. He like checked all the boxes.
I will say I do get like Senator from Illinois vibes from John Ossoff lately.
Yeah.
So
actually, Ossoff, Buttigieg, Ossoff, I should say, is like one of my dream tickets. I do think it's a governor's race to lose next time, but I have to say this is the first time that an election has been like a couple years away, and I'm like, I'm not even like, I can't even fathom even making it there. Yeah.
There's a long way to go.
Yeah.
Between now and then.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Okay, so my last question, is there a local Indiana business or creator that you think more people should know about?
Long pause, and then the bells of the church is just like perfect time. We'll let you do your thing, church.
I feel like I need to clip that.
My favorite restaurant in the city is Delicia.
Yes.
In the neighborhood. It's a place that my husband and I like would often go like grab drinks at like 9 p.m. or something and sit at the bar and like get appetizers, and they have like really, really, really delicious cocktails. I feel like not enough people talk about Delicia.
No, and actually I was kind of glad. I was keeping that.
Well, sorry.
It's okay. I'll
now.
Yeah. I it for you.
There's something else.
It's okay. This is a great happy hour, I have to say. I mean, I'd rather them stay in the neighborhood, so like more business, the better.
Right.
So like that's
just
great.
say the happy hour is not as great.
And then a creator.
Yeah, happy hour sucks.
Yeah, don't go to the happy hour too much.
I also like Kids Inc., which is a children's bookstore on 56th in Illinois.
Oh, yeah.
They have new owners that they got almost a year ago, I think. What's happening over there?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
They got new owners about almost a year ago, and they have just done incredible things with the shop.
Yeah.
And a creator that I want to shout out is Emily Weiner. She is a local photographer, but she has built kind of a creator influencer business kind of on the side in the last couple of years. And she has been doing these, she started this summer doing these picnics in the park, and she has just like invited like local moms to just like come hang out with their kids at the park.
How have I missed this?
It just started like a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And she's just a really lovely person, and she also became like an unintentional political advocate this spring, because she had an experience where she was called for jury duty and she was breastfeeding, and she was told that she was going to be kept as a juror, but then was not given ample accommodations to be able to pump. And so turned out there was a bill that was introduced in the at the State House to exempt breastfeeding moms from jury duty. And that experience that she had literally happened the day before they were doing a hearing about it in the state Senate. And so she ended up getting in contact with the folks that were advocating for the bill and testifying in front of the Senate. And I think she testified in front of the House as well. And it passed with unanimous support, because obviously, like, it should.
Yeah.
And so she's just a really cool gal, and I want to shout her out.
Yeah.
You're upstaging me, because we're just gonna use yours. I'm like, wow, Ellen, you covered it all. Yeah,
You have what? You've got people.
I mean, I do. Like, I have my girl Mary. I love Mary Graham. She's the Mary Graham on Instagram, and then my friend Brittany, who's the Pretty Plus on Instagram. They're both great, and they're more lifestyle, but they feel the same way we do, which is great. And yeah, they share a lot about like just their life, and they're in different stages. Mary has teenage girls, and Brittany has smaller kids. I think her daughter's in first grade maybe, and son's going into kindergarten. So different vibes there. But yeah, Ellen, I think Ellen follows those too. Yeah, they're great. So we need more progressive Hoosier influencers out there. So yeah, the more the merrier.
The more the merrier.
Especially in this state.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
We also love Tiffany Stoner.
Oh yeah, she's running for state house
Up in like Zionsville, Brownsburg. She's running against Becky Cash. Last time in 2024, she lost to Becky Cash by 63 votes.
63.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Voting matters.
Voting matters.
Really matters. Especially if you live in Boone County.
Yes. So she has a really great social presence.
She does.
And we only need to flip 4 seats in the House to break the supermajority. So we need people out there supporting people like Tiffany.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a slate of candidates running kind of in the donut counties if you're local, and if you're outside of like Indianapolis proper, you probably have a kick-ass candidate that's running for state house or state senate in your district. And you know, our people ask us like, okay, what can I do between now and November? And what we tell them is to pick a candidate and go all in. So donate to their campaign, volunteer with their campaign to go door knock and canvass, even just like sharing their social media posts on your own social media. We always say that if you have 200 followers, you're an influencer.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if you have 50 followers, you're an influencer, because you can influence.
And don't underestimate the mom group text. Like, truly.
There's some people that just aren't informed. Yeah. You know, they just don't know, because your algorithm is a certain way. Yeah. And so, I mean, that's how so many people have gotten red pill. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And then, like I said, too, I always push people. I've been pushing my followers to, if their school district is running a referendum, to volunteer for that, because they're definitely going to need it. And it's, especially volunteering at a more local level like that, it definitely helps you build community and feel more grounded in your community when you make more connections, and you know, you both are working towards the same goal. And I feel like that is really helpful, especially for people who are feeling kind of out, you know, that she stands alone in that state. So I would say just to try to get involved with those things, and it will make you feel better too.
such a solid foundation. So small elections are so important.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely it. There's so much focus on national elections and not enough. And when, you know, so many laws are determined in this state by your representative and your senator. So that's really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love that we are blue dots and we're not going anywhere. So they don't have to go through us.
Exactly. Indiana's a purple state. We're just gerrymandering to help.
And we also have a abysmal voting turnout.
Yeah. That's what gerrymandering will do to people.
Exactly.
Because they're like, you know, it's not going to matter anyway because we're already hosed. And I'm like, that's not the attitude. No, that's not the attitude.
No.
We need to have the whole, like, we need to change this.
I think telling people that Tiffany Stoner lost by 64 votes is like something that could light a fire under people and be like, oh, actually, if 64 more people had... or 65 more people had voted for Tiffany or come out to vote, then maybe it would look different. And
And she even said that she had like about 100 people come up to her and say like, yeah, I just didn't get to the polls. And also the thing with like early voting, I'm like, I don't know why so many people wait till election day. Yeah. I'm like, why are you chancing it? Like, what if you're, you know what I mean? Like something happens and you can't like, I'm almost there, like, first day of early voting, because I'm like, I just want to, like, if I die in 2 days, at least my vote counted. Okay?
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Or you can die and still be on the ballot. Like we saw in the
my gosh. Girl. And then still get votes, you know? Even though you're dead. Even though you're dead.
Yes.
Girl.
I would like to think that those were early, but, like, before he died.
I really hope so.
I really hope so, too. But probably not. Probably not. Yeah. You know. We are, what?
That was
49 in education, so... All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on.
Yes.
You guys are amazing.